Hello everyone, welcome to this literature on MEG-01 British Poetry. In this literature, we are going to discuss Romanticism, which is one of the most important literary movements prescribed in MEG-01 syllabus and is frequently asked in IGNOU examinations. Questions such as what is Romanticism, discuss the salient features of Romantic poetry, explain Romanticism with reference to British Romantic poets. All are direct based on this topic. By the end of this lecture, you will clearly understand the meaning of Romanticism, its historical backgrounds, its major features, and how to write a proper 20-mark answer in examinations. So let's start with the what is Romanticism. Romanticism is a literary movement that emerged in late 18th century England. It was not merely a change in poetic style, rather it was a complete change in attitude towards life, nature, emotion, and imagination. Romantic poets believed that human emotions are more important than cold reason. Imagination is superior to logic. Poetry should express personal feelings. Romanticism is therefore described as a reaction against Neo-Classicism, which emphasized rules, reasons, and imitations of classical models. Historical and intellectual background. To understand Romanticism fully, it is essential to study the background that led to its rise. Reaction against Neo-Classicism. Neo-Classicism poetry followed strict rules, formal diction, and classical Greek and Roman models. Poetry was governed by reason, order, and discipline. Romantic poets rejected the mechanical approach. They believed that poetry should be free, emotional, and spontaneous, but bound by rigid rules. They emphasized originality and individual impressions instead of imitation. Influence of the French Revolution. The French Revolutions of 1789 deeply influenced Romantic poets. Its ideals of liberty, equality, brotherhood inspired poets to value freedom of thoughts and expressions. This revolutionary spirit encouraged Romantic poets to challenge tradition, authority, and establish norms. Impact of the Industrial Revolutions. The Industrial Revolutions transformed England into a mechanical and urban society. Romantic poets felt that humanity was losing its emotional depth. Nature was being destroyed, but was becoming materialistic. As a result, they turned towards nature, rural life, simplicity, and emotional purity. Major features of Romantic poetry. The following features are extremely important from an examination's point of view. Important of imaginations. The Romantic poets believe that imagination is the highest faculty of the human mind. Poetry, according to them, is not mere imitations of reality but creation through imagination. Imagination allowed the poet to transform ordinary experiences into something profound, the universal. In examinations, you may write, Romantic poetry places imaginations above reason. Treatment of nature. Nature occupies a central place in Romantic poetry. It is not treated as a decorative background, but as a living presence, a teacher, a moral guide. Romantic poets believe that nature has the power to heal the human soul and shape moral values. Expressions of emotion. Romantic poetry emphasizes strong personal emotions such as joy, sorrow, love, and despair. William Wordsworth defined poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. This statement is frequently quoted in examinations and should be remembered. Individualism. Romantic poets celebrated the individual self. They believed that personal experience is valuable. Individual emotions reflect universal human emotion. As a result, Romantic poetry often appears personal and autobiographical. Interest in common man. Earlier poetry focused mainly on kings, heroes, and aristocrats. Romantic poets shifted their focus to common rural people, shepherds, farmers, and ordinary individuals. They believed that simple lives expresses genuine human emotions. Let's discuss simplicity of language. Romantic poets rejected artificial poetic diction. They preferred simple language, everyday speech, natural expressions. This made poetry more emotional and accessible. Major British Romantic poets. The major British Romantic poets prescribed in the MEG-01 syllabus include William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, Percy Bysshe Shelley, John Keats. Each poet represents Romanticism in a distinct way. Wordsworth focuses on nature and the common man. Coleridge emphasizes imagination and the supernatural. Shelley represents idealism and rebellion. Keats celebrates beauty and art. Each of these poets will be discussed separately in detail. Romanticism versus Neo-Classicism. This comparison is often asked in IGNOU exams. Neo-Classicism emphasizes reasons, rules, classical models, and urban life. Romanticism emphasizes emotions, freedom, imagination, nature, and individual experiences. Include such a comparison strengthen long answers. Let's discuss how to write a 20-mark answers in Romanticism. A good 20 marks answer should follow this structure. The first is introduction. Define Romanticism and mention its time period. Body. In body, you have to discuss like historical background, major features, reference to British Romantic poets. In the conclusion, summarize Romanticism as a revolutionary movement in British poetry. Answer should be written in clear paragraphs, not be in bullet points. In the conclusion, Romanticism marked a turning point in British poetry. It shifted poetry from reasons to emotions, from rules to freedom, from society to the individual self. Understanding Romanticism is essential for scrolling well in MEG-01 and also helps in understanding later literary movement. In the next literature, we will discuss William Wordsworth's theory of poetry, which forms the foundation of British Romanticism. Thank you for studying this lecture.